Girl, stop apologizing. Day 2. Whatever the dream is yours, not mine. You don't have to give any justification because as long you're not asking anyone to give you approval, then you don't need anyone to give you permission. In fact, when you understand that then you don't have to justify your dreams to anyone else for any reason, that's the day you truly begin to step into who you're meant to be. I don't mean then you go around middle fingers up like a Beyonce song. I don't mean then you turn bitter and rude and shove your goals into other people's face to prove a point. I mean then you focus in on the dream you have, you do the work, you put in the hours, and you start feeling guilty about it. Sadly, most people will go through their entire lives never experiencing that at all. Women especially are so brutal on themselves, and they often talk themselves out of their own dreams before they even attempt them. This is a travesty. There is so much untapped potential inside people who are too afraid to give themselves a chance. Right now, there are women reading these lines who have ideas for non-profits that would change the world. If only they had the courage to pursue their dreams. There are women reading these lines who have the potential to build a company that would alter their families' lives and the lives of others who would be positively affected by the business they created, if only they had the audacity to believe it would work. Right now, there are women reading these lines who would invent the next great app, design the next great fashion line, write the next great best-selling book, or create the beauty products we'd all be obsessed with, if only they believed in themselves. A dream always starts with a question, and the question is always some form of what if. What if I went back to school? What if I tried to build that? What if I pushed myself to run 26.2 miles? What if I moved to a new city? What if I'm the one who could change the system? What if God put this on my heart for a reason? What if I could add some income to our bank account? What if I could write a book that would help people? That what if? That's your potential knocking on the door of your heart and begging it to find the courage to override all the fear in your head. That what if is there for a reason. That what if is your guidepost. That what if tells you where to focus next. If every woman who heard that what if in her heart allowed it to feed the flame in her belly to pursue who she might be, not only would she shock herself with what she's capable of, but she'd astound everyone else as well. I'm convinced that if we just lived life in pursuit of answering the question, the effect on the world around us would be atomic. Most of us only consciously use a small percentage of our brain power. But have you ever seen one of those movies where the protagonist suddenly has access to all of it? They take a pill or get trained by a secret government agency, and all of a sudden they can bend battle with their minds and solve the world's poverty crisis in just a few hours because they're using their full potential. I'm convinced that many women in this world of ours are like Peter Parker, pre-radioactive spider bite. They're operating at a fraction of their potential because they haven't encountered a catalyst strong enough to annul it. Only a small part of our population is encouraged to believe in themselves and their potential from childhood on. People raised with advantages tend to see more possibilities. People who were taught self-worth from a young age are more likely to believe in their capabilities as adults. People with more resources usually perceive a goal as more easily achieved than those who have less. But what if you weren't raised to believe in yourself? What if you didn't have advantages or many resources? How likely would you be to believe you're capable of so much more? How likely would you be to stick with your goal when you get knocked off course? But what if you didn't stick with it? What if you did believe, and not only you, but what if all sorts of women all over the world made the decision to replace other people's expectations with their own imaginations of who they might be? Can you imagine if 25% more of the world, or 55% more, or even just 5% more women decided to embrace their what if? Can you imagine if they stopped allowing the guilt or shame that comes from not being a certain way or a certain type of woman to squash their potential? Can you imagine the exponential growth we'd see in everything from art to science to technology to literature? Can you imagine how much more joyful and fulfilled those women would be? Can you imagine how their families would be affected? How about the community? How about other women who see their success and are inspired and emboldened by it, and use it as a catalyst to spark change in their own lives? If that sort of revolution were to occur, a revolution of what if, we would change the world. In fact, I believe we can change the world. But first, we've got to stop living in fear or of being judged for who we are.